Hello and welcome to the Patreon channel of True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Well, we're at episode 49 of the 50-part series, hashtag 2 years ago today CW, and we've come to the very last entry on August 19th, 2 years ago in the phone data review. It's only about 3 or 4 lines. We are going to expand upon just the topic of Nichol Kessinger somewhat in this episode. In the final episode, episode 50, we're going to go a little bit further through what happened in the narrative just beyond the phone data review. I'm not sure why it's not in it, but it was additional messaging between Kessinger and Kobach. They basically continued to question her for a couple of weeks, days afterwards. And then there's something else entirely missing, not just from the phone data review, but from the entire discovery documents. And that is going to be in the final episode of this review, so don't miss that one. I'll also be talking to you a little bit about the background, just the overview of the 9-part Two-Face series that I wrote, why I called it Two-Face, and how the books evolved over time. And then finally, also in the final episode, I'll tell you a little about the final book in the trilogy, Post-Truth, which will be coming out, well, I'll tell you when. If you haven't already subscribed to True Crime Rocket Science, now's your chance. Hit the like button. You can also hit the icon on the right of the screen. You can like, share, leave a comment, and let's get started.
It's not just me. He lied to everybody. He had all of you fooled. And everybody stood up for him. His friends stood up for him. I really thought she left. I was like, let her fucking go. You know, she'll come back in a day. She'll be all right. Let her cool down. She'll be here. It'll be okay. You know, like, had me convinced, like, I think she's just upset, and then. I
don't know. I think there may have been an emotional relationship prior to her leaving to come to North Carolina, and it may have progressed into something else when she was gone. I don't know anything about it. Chris didn't talk to us a lot about any of his personal life. He didn't, but you could see it.
Committed to him yet. I mean, I was monogamous with him. I wasn't seeing any other men, but I wasn't like, hey, this is the guy I want to spend the rest of my life with. And part of the reason that I was uncertain, I mean, yeah, he'd already built a life, but honestly, like, he wasn't out of the marriage that he was already in.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not going to go tell the whole world, like, hey, I've got this guy, and, you know, I'm going to take in his kids, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and it wasn't because I had any problems with them. It's just,
okay.
I know the context of that text now, like, looking at it looks so bad.
You have to look at it from the perspective that I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And how it could be misconstrued or made out to sound something another way. That's why I wanted to give you the opportunity to say what it really means. Okay?
No, I don't mean any harm towards those kids. I always thought they were so cute. When he showed me those pictures, he was all about them, you know, and not only that, but it's like, once you guys get those texts, you will see, like, there's not very much mention of his children. And if there is mention of his children, it's always, like, cute stuff, where it's like, hey, you should show them this, or hey, this apartment's great for them, or, you know, what do you think of bunk beds? And, you know, like, those little girls, like, remind me and my little sister. They're like the same age. Right. Yeah, I mean, like, it was so cute. Like, he would call his little daughter, the younger one, CZ, call her Rampage. He's like, she's wild. And it used to just make me smile because my little sister was totally Rampage. And it just was kind of like spot on, you know? And so, like, it just kind of made me think, like, okay, these guys are going through a divorce at the same age that I was at when my parents went through a divorce. And it's like, how did I handle that? You know, and I tell them, like, you know, this is what happened when my parents separated and we were this old. And just try to, like, give him a reference because I gave it to him.
Right. Okay.
I mean, but just because I care about him and I care about his kids and all of that doesn't mean that I'm ready to turn around and like commit
Did
everything.
he ever say anything like that? Like, do I have to get rid of my kids, or
No.
do I,
This shocked me just as much as I think it shocked the rest of the world. All of it. Like, he lied so much. Now I go back and think about all this shit, and I'm like, it's lies. Everything that I knew about him was like lies. I mean, his friends let him stay the night at their house. He even fooled them. It's not just me. He lied to everybody. He had all of you fooled. And everybody.
So August the 19th, 2018 was a Sunday. Nichol Kessinger searched Amber Frey book deal net worth on Google. The exact entry, in fact the final entry in the 50-page phone data review, is this one. Kessinger searched the internet on topics related to Amber Frey, mistress of Scott Peterson. He murdered his wife and unborn child, as I'm sure many of you know. Her searches included Frey's book deal, her net worth, and did people hate Amber Frey? And that's the end of the review. But let's look at those questions Kessinger was thinking about. And this is really the last sort of effective moment that we see Kessinger. From this moment, she sort of steps out of the narrative and kind of fizzles into nothing. She sort of disappears. But let's stick with the sentiments of Kessinger at this point. Did people hate Amber Frey? Do people hate Nichol Kessinger? If the answer to these questions are different, why are they different? If your answers to these questions are different, why are they different? And are you right? Are you justified? We're going to look into that in a little bit more detail. Now, I want you to bear in mind we are 2 years after the fact, and I'm sure that you have made up your mind about many things and you're absolutely certain. I actually put up a question in the previous post where many of the people very close to the case, close to Shanann, close to Chris Watt, said he fooled us all, or he fooled everyone. And I asked, were you fooled? And there were quite a few people saying, no. I was on to Chris Watts from the moment. I wasn't fooled at all. I'm not sure I agree. I don't mean did you believe him and everything he said. I mean, did you know exactly what happened here? Exactly. And by that I mean, did you know what kind of person he was? Did you know what kind of person Shanann was? Did you know what kind of person Kessinger was? Do you know when the crime happened? Do you know exactly how it played out? If you say yes to all those questions, I'm not sure what you're doing on this channel, because there's a saying, it's hard to fill up a cup that's already full. So if you know all the answers, you really shouldn't be here. You should start up your own channel, or you should, move on to another case if you know all the answers. We sort of here because there are certain things that aren't clear, and there's also this lingering doubt in a lot of areas, and there really shouldn't be. A court case would have cleared that up, and True Crime Rocket Science has kind of made it its mission to almost try this case as a kind of a court case. And so in terms of Kessinger and Frey, I have written a trilogy of books about Scott Peterson, so I covered that in a lot of detail. As usual, there are a lot of misconceptions about Amber Frey as well. People will tell you that she came forward immediately. She didn't come forward immediately.